Hey guys, welcome back. So my test and tune session on this video got cut a little short because I stripped a spur gear and didn't bring my backups with me. So check out the next 4 or 5 minutes of this video of what I shot the other night. Then we're gonna come back here and talk about some things. If you're running into problems with your DRK just not going as fast as you think it should, if you're kind of mystified by some of the numbers and why you might be shortening your stage times, but your ETs aren't getting any better, I think I have some answers for you. So come back after you check this out. .66 at 55 miles per hour. Welcome back, friends, to the mean streets of Ohio. I am Chad. Gonna do some more testing and tuning today with the DR10, running the DRK 160 and 4.5 turn. Now, in the last video I did, I'll put a link to that up here, I actually shot my best ET ever, 2.6, and I believe it was around 55 miles per hour. Voltages seemed really good, RPMs were really super high, but a couple people made some comments that the 84-14 gearing was just not right. Hey, what do I know? What do they know? Now, I have been all up and down the gearing spectrum on this car, as you can see from many of the videos. I'll go ahead and put a link to the playlist here, a new playlist of just what is going on with the DR10 and all of the Maclan stuff, so that way you don't have to watch any of that old boring stuff, and you can see the evolution of how things have went. Now, we have our first list race coming up this weekend, and I do not think my Phantom 3.5 will get here. So I need to get something fast and consistent, and we need to do it right now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and give this tune here a shot. This was from Mr. Mike Burgess RC. Shout out to Mike. We're gonna give your tune a shot here on this, and what we're gonna do, it's kind of a different way of looking at a tune because the stages are a lot more spread out, but of course we're bringing the turbo in quicker. So I've never actually ran this gearing this way before. There's so many different ways that you can do this. The preliminary way that everybody pretty much runs their stuff that I thought Maclan had put it out, this stuff changes so fast. I mean, it's only been like 2 months and it's totally different, but they would basically have your stages. So you go through all 5 of your stages, then give a little bit of time before your turbo kicks in so your battery had enough time to recover, so you weren't sagging down into like the low 6s or even high 5s with a worse battery. Now that I have some pretty good max amp batteries, they're not the preferred new drag packs that I would like to have. Might be picking one of those up, and we'll talk about why those are so much better in another video. But I think, hey, we might as well go ahead and give this a shot since we've never tried it before. So we're gonna be running 87-22 on our gearing here with the 4.5. And if we take a look at the actual tune here, we're going 35 for 0.2, 50 for 0.2, 65 for 0.25, 80 at 0.4, then 100. Turbo is coming in at 70%. 40 degrees, a 16.3 slew rate, and a 0 degree delay. Throttle punch is going to be at 80, so on and so forth. I am running 30 degrees on the can just because I know 20 just is not enough. This car really didn't wake up until I put at least 24 to 25 degrees timing in the can, despite what Maclan says. I don't think that we're really getting that. That's the one thing about the Phantom, is that I'll trust that a 30 degree or a 25 degree timing with the Phantom is actually truly what I'm getting. We've got the tire warmers on, everything's ready to go. Slap the body on here and put this camera down, and let's see if we can what we can do here today. So what do I think this is gonna do? I think it's gonna be about the same. I don't know why I'm so poo-poo on it, but I think we're probably going to be looking at a 2.7, 2.8 at about 55 miles per hour, but I could be wrong. Well, not bad. 2.7, 57 miles per hour. Nice and easy. 2.66 at 55 miles per hour. Now I lost my pinion gear. Should be interesting to find. Not a bad hit though. 2.66. It's definitely bringing on the power a lot slower, but it's working. Be interested to see what my voltages look like. Look at that. Whew. It's cooking. I think I got cocky too, and I didn't bring any tools with me. That's a bummer. Oh, I did bring them. So the Maclan DRK is a fascinating piece of equipment, and what I have learned, and I've seen this online, some people it works with and some people it don't. I don't know if it's a different batch of ESCs or if it's an ESC motor combination. It's probably a combination of everything. But with my setup, a 4.5 turn DRK, I was all up and down the gearing chain. You've seen by my videos and stuff that all of my ETs and speeds and everything are all about the same. Now, throughout this, I had been using the same kind of methodology, which I talked about in the video, which was trying to shorten those stage times, thinking that I would make up time on the end. So instead of it taking, say, a full second to get to 100% throttle, trying to get to 100% throttle in like 0.5 or 0.6 seconds, and then just pouring on the timing and just going for it. Now, with my last video, changing gearings and stuff, my RPMs were up in the 70,000s. In this video, my RPMs were in the 50,000s, yet my ET was about the same, and my mile per hour was about the same. I have a few conclusions to this, and I think the main thing it comes down to is the DRK just likes a more stable voltage. If you go a little bit easier throughout your first stages and get it to 100% throttle, it just kind of like works better and just carries power and is able to create speed and momentum a lot better. Probably because more voltage would equal more kV. RPMs might not be that important because you might be draining your voltage a little bit more. Just kind of some theories that I'm putting out. The biggest number that mystifies people is the throttle punch. It seems like anything other than like a 70 or a 75 on throttle punch will really inhibit or limit what the car is capable of doing. It's kind of counterintuitive again, because you would think that like 100% throttle punch would give you 100% boom, ready to go. But it looks like that 100% throttle punch is either really stressing out the system or it's not coded correctly and you're not getting anything or gaining any more by it. So definitely try setting your throttle punch at like 70 or 75. I didn't get a chance to lower it in this video because of where my gear broke down, but the next time I'm out, I definitely will. Unfortunately, that's going to be at our first list race on Sunday, so I'm just going to go for what I have built into here right now and just see how it goes. The car felt really good. The hit just looks cleaner. It sounds cleaner than anything else that I was trying to force it to do, which is just throwing as much timing and as much throttle as fast as I could into it, sagging down the battery and just kind of ultimately inhibiting the performance of the car. Now, the other key thing that I have been doing recently that I never did before was bringing in turbo at 70% instead of 100% throttle. If you look at the DRK preset tunes, they actually have an even bigger gap of like 0.1 or 0.2 seconds between 100% throttle and when the turbo comes in. Now, these tunes really didn't do a whole lot for me. The 4.5 low, the 4.5 high traction, they just didn't work with my car. They were just slow. You saw that in the last video. I think I posted that. So bringing your turbo in at like a 70% throttle position value and then just kind of dumping it there. It's kind of like how the hobby wing works. You're almost using it as a boost period and then a turbo, because the way the hobby wing works is you have boost and turbo. So boost will come in and start applying timing at a certain RPM range. And then after it hits that max range or a certain time limit, then you can turn on turbo timing. So you can kind of stage those together. So we're kind of overlapping those two periods here with one setting, which makes things a lot easier. So I hope this kind of helps you guys a little bit. I think it is definitely the way to go. I don't see a disadvantage to it at all. I always wondered why some things just weren't working, and I still wonder why I'm not going as fast as I should be. I think that is all down to the motor. Again, I don't believe that this Maclan 4.5 is a high enough quality motor. Not because I think it's a bad motor or anything, but because the times that I see on all the various Facebook groups and stuff, people are running like Phantom 3.5s, 3-turn and 2.5 turns. This stuff is evolving very quickly. So if you are still waiting or shopping for a motor, I would definitely recommend, if you're going to be in this for a long haul, to minimally start with a 3.5. Don't go with the 4.5 turn like I did. I think you're just going to get outpaced. Maybe even a 3 or a 2.5 turn. This stuff is just going to keep on getting crazier and crazier. The tires are going to get better in order to handle that kind of speed. So I think that if you're in that back order list right now, waiting on a 4 or 4.5 turn motor, your money might be spent by dropping down a little bit. And, you know, you can always tone it down, as you can see through all these videos, through settings, gearing, everything else like that. So we'll be back with a video from our first list race, and we'll see where this guy ends up. So crossing my fingers that we can make it onto that list. There's some good competition out there. Thanks a lot, guys, and we will talk to you on the next video.